glasses. Somebody's already up in here. I can't even see it this morning. Can't get the focus going on. And I've hid my glasses from myself, I think. Here they are. You think you're sneaky, fat boy? But you ain't really that sneaky. Well, see, you're taking it the whole wrong way, Artie McFarty. There's Buggy. Bugman. Chucky, what's going on? Mr. J Dog's gone fishing charters. Zachariah from Catfish Viking. What's going on, y'all? Annie Finn, what's going on? Kevin Fishes, what's happening? Question I'm going to pose to y'all today is, do line rattles and demon dragons actually improve your performance in fishing? Good morning, Lee, and everyone in chat. Miss Shirley Tillman, how you doing, dear? Buggy said, I noticed. Me personally, we catch just as many fish without them as we do with them. So when we go to places where we catch fish, no, J Doggy does. David Smith, good morning. How are you? But I mean, when we use line rattles and demon dragons, or the equivalent of a demon dragon, I just wonder if it's the floating element part of it instead of the look of it. Well, Kevin, I have the past couple of years, because I thought all these YouTubers was the way that, no, you don't have to have current using Buggy. I mean, look, I go wildering, we catch them there. But on occasion. Downtown Ernie Brown. But, I think when we go to waters where that's what I'm saying, J-Dog. I mean, when we go to waters where there's, your odds of catching a fish are improved over water I fish at now. Let me put it like that. And sometimes I do catch, I can't say bigger. No, I guess it's about 50-50. But I don't know, Zach. I mean, even in our local water, I know a guy that don't use them and he catches fish. And when I go up there to fish, I use them and I don't catch fish. That's what I'm thinking. It's the element part of it, is the floating element part of it. Well, I mean, like Zach said, it also depends on your water fish. I don't want to make nobody mad or nothing like that. That's never my intention. But let's say, for one, wildering. Fish, maybe two fish, depend on the time of year that you go out. Average, two fish. All right. Then I go to the Ohio River. or hear of the Ohio River, but either or, the amount of fish there is over wildering. Then you go to the Tennessee, and then the amount of fish there is quite substantially more, but the size of fish, majority of the time, are not what I would catch somewhere else. I guess that's how I want to say it. Jody, good morning. I just, sometimes though, I think the line rattles are a hindrance. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, do you use them in structure? Do you not use them in structure? Morning, Doc. How are you? Because all right, let's see. This is your river bottom. And on top of that river bottom, you have a hump. And current is going this way. So when the water, I'm backwards. When the water hits it, it goes over and comes down back here. So that leaves that dead space right in there. It's what I've always looked for. Do you want your bait to be laying right on the bottom there? Or do you want it to be down past the current to entice the fish out? Or do you want to have it down, laying on that ledge with a float up, bringing it up off the bottom? Yeah, but I know people like J Dog was talking about. Sammy catches just as many fish, without anything. And I know another guy that does the same thing. So there's Eric, good morning. If I missed y'all, good morning. Lance, good morning. Cody, good morning. I mean, it's just, I don't know. Everybody, it seems like everybody's got their own opinion about something, and some opinions, as the old saying go, taste better than others, So I just wonder, is there any scientific evidence of that? Yeah, that's right. I had a guy tell me one time, J Dog, that you're only as good as the waters you fish. Yeah, that's just in a lot of times though. Some of those knots, so when you tie the leaders up, and some of those knots are, for some people, they're just difficult. There's Brandon. Good morning. How are you? And where do you add your demon dragon? How you tie your hook on? What? I don't know. Are you using enough weight to keep that demon? Do you actually think sometimes when you throw it out there, are you actually at the depth you think you are? That's another thing is throwing out there. And if you got a 2-ounce weight and then you got a Mondo Hondo spook on there, it's like I watched a show. What made me think about that was watching a show here a while back, and these people would take this ball and they would fill this ball. It's a heavy, heavy ball, but they would fill it full of air and they would drop it into the ocean. But once it reached a certain point down there, the ball wouldn't sink anymore because of the pressure inside the ball. So I know probably those spooks probably don't have pressure, but they got air in them. And what point does it say I'm not sinking anymore? I'm not a scientist or nothing. I just think I am. Are you been Jody? Have you been keeping a record to know without guessing? Now, not without guessing, but how you be keeping a record of what, which ones is catching fish and which ones is not? I don't use a sliding sinker either. I used to, but then what the heck is he talking about, Mister Uncle Lou, Uncle Lusa? What the heck is Cody? I don't understand that. You're thinking about it in absolutes, and it isn't that. My phone's in the other room on charge. And J Dog, I believe in every time that you do go, because what if the water's muddy? You know, what if the water's clear? What if the water's warm? What if it's cold? Yeah, but you need to. Nobody on here is keeping up with the exact numbers, Jody. I wouldn't think there might be some freak out there, but I mean, you think, I don't know. Makes your mind wonder about things about weights and the rate of fall and all that stuff. I mean, in current, is that float down there in current doing like that in the current, jerking the weight up and down off the bottom? If do you add more weight? I don't know. That don't go for a lot of guys that fish lakes and stuff, but I've seen a lot of people in some, around these dams. There you go. Thank you, Jody. But just, you get up there in them dams, or even them guys like out in the Mississippi, they're really slinging 16 ounces of weight, 10 ounces of weight out there. Around here, I don't see that. I've never seen it. So that's right, Eric. You coming around, honey? You coming around? Brian B. Snoozing. What's happening? Well, I think you can, Don R. But when you want to go fishing in one type of water environment, then you don't even have to change it. But I do know 110% fact that once you change different areas, go to rivers and big rivers, you better change up your tactics. You're just going to be sitting there for nothing. But yeah, Cody, I do too, in a way. But it makes you think, what if all the guys over all them years were just slinging a hook and weight out there, catching these big fish, and now all of a sudden you see these guys throwing these lines and rattles and spooks and dragon weights and all this stuff to them, and look at all these records being followed. So that makes you think, well, something's got to be right, because they're doing it. Do I have to have Brian B up here? I ain't had Brian B on my show in forever. Get your SpongeBob drawers on and sit down. I know you ain't working. Today's Thursday. I remembered. You have to know what you're doing to catch fish in Tennessee, just like the other rivers. Fish don't. Oh, I'm not saying that, Jody. I'm not saying that. You're right. You have to, but you have to change your tactics from area to area, water to water. What's Uncle Lou fussing about? That's right, Annie Finn. I mean, we over the years, people found out shad, skipjack, bluegill, are really good baits. They found this out through the course of history. I mean, so thinking about it makes you wonder, what did they do to catch them before? That's exactly right, Cody. Just because I say it's better, I didn't read the I part. Sorry, I missed that when I pre-read it. I thought it said it. But then, J Dog, there you go again on that. Then you're only as good as the waters you're fishing. If there's more fish in the water than catfish in the water, then very few times have I thrown out that I don't have a spook on there anymore. I mean, that's just my opinion on it too. So that says my opinion. Very few times, but I do change up how the spook's located. I mean, because if I went right now and took my junk to the Mississippi River, I don't think I might get lucky and catch a couple fish. Who knows? I just don't know if I could, if my gear, my lines and leaders and all that would hang up to that. I don't know. That's like Jody said, that's a confidence thing too. But when I go to Tennessee, I think this stuff right here is perfect. I go to Ohio, I feel like it's good. But I haven't fished in major current. So Cody, I'm beginning to believe that and understand that. I mean, at first I didn't. I was like, no, the bait's down there. It ain't going to hurt them. But I'm beginning to believe I understand that philosophy there better. You know, when I think the spoot or float hurt you, like when suspending. I want to do some of that when we go back to the Ohio. I want to suspend drift, just let the current go down and adjust the baits up and down as it just go down through there. Just let the river take you where it wants to take you until a barge comes and get the hell out of the way. J-Dog said if they're feeding, it doesn't matter. They will find your bait. But do they feed at different times in the river? In like a 2-mile stretch. Do they feed earlier up closer to the dam or further away from the dam? Yeah, Cody, I did notice that. It does. It really does. I mean, especially if there's current at all. He said, nobody knows that. Somebody does, J-Dog. This is the smartest people in the world. This is YouTube. I like spelling when I do it every week. My favorite long leader line. So heavy weight on the inside. I put two. I guess I'm just lazy, Jody. I don't like changing nothing. Fish work what I got. If it's on there, it's going in the water. Yeah, Eric, you got real lucky that day up there with J-Dog. So, yeah, you know what it takes. Yeah, that's true. But see, the J-Dog, the object is, if you're going to get this charter business off the ground, you got to let these people know that you know it all, everything. It's not a guessing game. I spent most of my adult life fishing where there ain't catfish, and now that we are in PA, I'm looking at getting out to our river and chase them a bit more this summer. I've got a lot to learn. Well, any fan, I have catfish most of my life, just on and off, not as a hobby or nothing, but mostly sometimes just majority of the time back then was to eat, But now that I don't eat the fish out of the water anymore, I just try to trophy fish. And to me, anything over 12 pounds is considered a trophy. I don't care. Y'all say everybody's got their own. But anything over 12 pounds is a trophy, and anything over 25 pounds is a real deal. I mean, because just when they start getting up around 30 and 40 pounds, they really do put the fight on closer to the boat. You get one of them big ones, and I ain't never had one of them big ones like J-Dog and them's got 70 and 80s, and Brian B and all them. I've never had one that big. But watching their rods and how they're fighting the fish and the videos that they got is, and then knowing what I did with a 53, it's just got to be. Hey, Star, how you doing? Cody says, I want to catch a big fish. Cody, come up here and talk real quick. Come on. Somebody come up here and talk so I can go out and smoke. Well, I don't have to go out. I'm just going to stand right there at the door. I ain't going out. It's too freaking cold.
You ain't going nowhere.
I'm going to stand right there at that door. I ain't going out. It's snowing like crazy right now.
Lee, what I meant by you're thinking about it in absolutes is you keep saying, and maybe I'm interpreting what you mean wrong, that, well, so-and-so, this person does it with nothing but just the bait and the sinker, and it works. I'm not saying that you can do it a million different ways, but, I think the goal is to do the fish the way that is going to give you the best chance for success. So if using a float makes your chance of getting a big fish on 5% better, well, then I'm going to do it. It doesn't mean it's going to make fish bite. Doesn't mean that it's for sure way to catch fish. But if it makes my chance just a little bit better, well, that I need that little bit of help.
Well, that's what I was talking about. I think in different scenarios, they may work better than others. Like you was talking about, when you're pulling dragging boards, Man, I really like them.
Yeah, I like having, and a float will do the same thing when dragging board as far as not getting hung up. But like I fish Barron and it stays pretty muddy. Well, scent doesn't travel as far in muddy water. Fish can't see as well in muddy water. So having that extra little bit of noise that maybe can travel through that muddy water a little better will draw them in to investigate, and get them close enough that then they smell my bait, see my bait, whatnot. So I think that can really help. When it comes to suspending, I suspend with the Demon Dragons on still, or the Spooks or whatever still on. But that's just because I'm too lazy to retie the rig just to suspend. I think in suspending, you're much better without it because, you want to control exactly where your bait's at. And if you've got your bait floating up below the sinker and stuff, it's harder to gauge how deep that is versus if at the very end of the lines the bait. So if I reel up one crank and I know my reel reels in 22 inches, well, I drop it to bottom, put it in the rod holder. One crank's 22 inches. Okay, I'm almost 2 foot off bottom. Two cranks, I'm pushing 4 foot off bottom. So
Yeah.
it's going to make it easier to know exactly what's going on.
See, that's why I asked you to come up here because you're smarter than I am. You know about it. You know how I know that?
No, I'm definitely not smart.
J Dog told me.
You know how I know I'm smarter than you?
How's that?
You listen to J Dog.
Woo! Smoking gun. Click that link, J Dog. Defend yourself.
But like Sambo doesn't use any of the stuff, and Sambo catches fish. Sambo's an awesome fisherman. Does that mean that he wouldn't if he used a little bit of the extra frivolous stuff, he might not be 5% better? Who knows? I mean, ultimately, that stuff's is not to catch the fish that are already gonna bite no matter what. It's to entice a fish that doesn't want to bite.
Jody, I fish 3 to 5 days a week. I just don't show it. That he does, Jody. You can believe that.
Yeah. J-Dog probably fishes more than anybody in the fishing community that we talk to regularly through this.
I would firmly agree with that.
Jody fishes a lot too. You'd think she'd catch more fish.
I ain't going there. You ain't dragging me down that rabbit hole.
I fish less than everybody.
But my only issue is with Sammy is them daggone little hooks.
But I mean, yeah, like those little bitty hooks. That just goes to show you don't have to do what's best to catch fish. Because I don't care what he says, those little hooks are not your best option.
Hey, son, I mean, you've seen him sit there? Have you ever fished with him?
I haven't.
Oh, son, you in for a treat, buddy. I love fishing with Sammy now. So when he sets a hook, you can hear the line ripping off the water going across there. Sound like a little jet taking off.
Yeah, but when he passes, what's the first thing J-Dog says to him? Number 2 Eagle Claw.
Yeah. And man, we'll not buy any line line stoppers, bobber stoppers. Man uses cigarette butts. They'll pick up off and throw them on there, son, and they work they work better than any one of them I've ever bought.
Like J-Dog said, Sammy has natural fishing ability. His old school won't change his ways, and he's not had to change his ways in any way because because he's got enough ability to go out there with this little bitty hook and still put plenty of fish in the boat, and doing it the most basic way you can do it, and it works. And sometimes doing it the most basic way is best. We do overcomplicate things a lot, you know. There's a, you know, it catches the fisherman, not the fish, is very true. You know, when you go tying something on the end of your line, have a reason you're doing it, you know. But I think having the bait above the fish is a real good thing. Just, I mean, you think about how, and it's for the simple reason is you think about how a blue cat's naturally feeding. They're feeding on shad, skipjack, stuff like that. They're not grabbing this stuff off bottom. Most of the time, they're swimming up into that ball of shad and getting it.
Do you think when you got a live bluegill on there, me personally, I think that bluegill will hit the bottom and lay there?
I mean, after a while, but at first, heck, you can see your line dancing around. You know that bluegill's doing something, and then even when that you put that live bluegill on, have you ever watched right before you get that bite and catch that fish on that live bluegill that your line starts dancing some right before the takedown? That's
Oh
not
yeah, you trying to get away?
not always the fish has got it in its mouth chewing on it. Like I hear that a lot, and sometimes that is the case. But a lot of times it's that bluegill. He might have just went ahead and sat on bottom because he was tired of fighting against your.
Man, that to me that's like a flathead fishing. You know, I'm gonna do some more of that this year. I'm gonna try to really concentrate on getting a good flathead.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I got a phone call. Sorry. It's not always that, you know, a fish is chewing on it. It's sometimes that fish has just seen something it knows is going to eat it. And it's trying to get away.
I think my biggest flathead's only like 9 pounds, and I caught that I think last year up with J Dog.
You said something a while ago that I find pretty interesting, and I guess it probably isn't all that interesting to most people, but like you said, anything over 12 fish is a really good fish. You've caught a big, big fish. And anything over 20 or 25, whatever you said, you've really done something. And I always find it cool to see what other people's perspective is on, because all our perspectives is different on what fish is going to excite you. You know.
About any fish. That you know, my main thing is one of the main reasons I really go is I love to see a pole just go bam and bend, you know. And I have seen some 8 and 10 pound fish hit so hard you'd think it was a 30 or 40, you know.
Right. You know, and that I don't suspend very often. I normally have a rod or two suspended, but most of the time, most of my fish come off planer boards or long lines, dragging. But that is the best thing about suspending is because you've got that rod tip parallel with the surface of the water, your takedowns are amazing. And that's the best thing about suspending in my eyes is the takedowns.
And like Art said there, see a young angler catch a good fish, you know. That's that day that Tristan caught them ones with y'all down there. I was so happy more than that made my whole, you know, fishing year right there.
Yeah, I love having somebody in the boat with us that hadn't had the chance to catch a big fish because it's exciting. You know, you've seen my videos. Heck, I'm more excited for them to catch those fish than when I catch them myself because it's cool. I mean, Tristan that day, I've had a few friends come out with us that caught amazing fish. My kids, when they catch good fish, Compton's PB's 25 pounds. Watch, if I catch a 25 pounder, it's a great fish, but I'm not like jumping up and down with excitement. Watching him catch it, I'm like jumping up and down with excitement. I love it, you know. J Dog said he's gonna catch a 70-pound flathead this year.
It's possible.
You know, I think it's easy to overlook J Dog because it seems like when he's not live and it's just all up with us sitting around just watching him fish. We set up private lives a lot, and J Dog fishes, and he'll be smoking them, and he won't go live because he seems like every time he goes live he ends up having a headache with it, which I say that, but I mean he caught an 80-pounder live. But anyways, you know, it's easy to overlook it. J Dog catches a lot of fish. And then he catches some monster fish.
I'm not going to jinx him. I knew it. He had to come up here and talk to you.
Take the bait. I took the bait, didn't I?
That was a little bitty worm I put out there, son. A little bit nibble got under there.
What you fellas doing? I just go see if Cody leave once I come up.
Probably.
There you go. I told you don't like me. I figured I'd come up and chat while I drank my coffee. What are you doing, Cody?
Aggravating you this morning. What are you up to?
Just trying to get some coffee down me so I can get my day started.
All right, Bobcat, let me ask you something, if Leroy don't mind me asking.
Ask on.
So you fish somewhere that is an average size fish that is a little larger than some other waterways. Your opportunity for a bigger fish is there. What do you consider a big fish, and what do you consider a trophy fish?
I mean, I consider anything 30 and above a big fish, and I say anything above 50, I consider a trophy fish. But I'm like somebody, I heard it mentioned a while back, is like we shouldn't really use the term trophy too much because, you know, it lends people to think that, you know, to try to kill a fish. If they catch it, your average person catches a 50-pound fish, they're going to drag it home just to show all their buddies, hey, look what I got, you know. And I don't think it should be like a big 12-point buck or something where you hang it out of the back of your truck to show off your buddies.
Well, we talked about that the other day. You know, you used to see around here, and if it was deer season, there'd be people, they'd be pumping gas for an hour and a half because they had that deer stuck up over the edge of the tailgate, and everything they did in town took forever that day because they wanted it to be seen in town.
Exactly. And the same way with a fish. You know, I don't.
Well, but deer hunters have gotten away from it. They take a picture of it. You don't see near as many deer heads sticking up over the edge of the tailgate. They're not taking their time to prop it up so you can still see it while they're going down the road and stuff near as much as they used to. They realize you've got a camera in your pocket and you've got everybody you know probably on social media right there for them to see it. But fishermen are taking longer some fishermen are taking longer to catch up with that. They still want to drag it to the ramp because they feel like people aren't going to believe them. It's like, you've got a phone in your pocket. If you want to show it to me, show me the picture, you know. And that's why we have so many people at the ramps up there saying, hey, you want these fish? I don't feel like cleaning them. It's just the mentality. Some people, it almost seems like it hurts them to release a fish.
Yeah.
They feel like they're throwing good food away or something. Maybe I don't know what the thought is.
And I think as content creators or social media people, that's probably part of our responsibility is to let people know that hey, these big fish, they really don't taste all that good. And you know, if you want to keep fish, if you want to go fishing for meat, fish for the smaller fish, you know, under 10 pounds, 5 pounds, whatever. And it's true that they do taste better and they're easier to clean and you don't have to chunk it up into big chunks. So I think it's kind of part of our responsibility as what do they call us? Social influencers or whatever to, you know, convince everyone else to put these big breeder fish back and keep smaller ones if you want to eat them.
Well, here's my problem with what you just said. If anybody is dumb enough to let me influence them, then they're not smart enough to catch a fish anyways.
Well, you need to do better then, Cody.
Kelly, it's snowing good here too, but it ain't sticking.
Are you getting some snow, Leroy?
Yeah, I woke up at 4 o'clock this morning, and every car and every windshield and cars was covered with a dusting. And I sat there and watched TV, I don't know, for about 30 minutes. And then the biggest rainstorm come, and you couldn't even tell it snowed in 5 minutes. Now it's snowing again.
I wish we'd get some snow a little bit.
All this is, it's not really bad enough cold weather. This is just going to make the mosquitoes 10 times worse this spring.
Well, I got a new truck I'd like to try out in snow.
What'd you get?
I got me a 2006 Toyota Tundra.
Toyota.
It's only got 89,000 miles on it.
You get is it got the king cab or?
Yeah, it's got that crew cab on it. The double cab's what they call it. Big old back seats in the thing. It's nice. 4-wheel drive.
How long will it be before there's a tackle box back there? There's a bunch of rod and reel pieces and.
Well, I still got my F-150, which the motor's acting ugly on it, but it's doing okay now since I changed the oil in it. I'm thinking about leaving that F-150 hooked to my boat just to haul the boat back and forth to the river so I don't get fish slime in my new truck and stink it up like my old truck is.
You know, that fish smell hangs around. It's hard to get out.
I don't know if it's the catfish or the skipjack that's worse. They both
my wife's got where when I come in and take my fishing clothes off, she'll wash them twice before she ever thinks about putting them in the dryer.
Yeah, I have to take mine off when I get home and my wife washes everything in cold water. But I told her, I said, you can't get that fish slime out of there in cold water. So I wash my stuff alone and put it on hot water and usually put double detergent in there. Cold water will not get that fish slime out.
I probably don't have to worry about that. I just got to make sure I don't have the chicken washed off my hands.
Yeah, see, that's something I've always been paranoid of, like everybody using chicken for bait, like salmonella. You know, you're handling that raw chicken all day long. And I don't know, man. It scares me.
What about that bait, that fish that's been laid out on that, piece back there for 2.5 hours at room temperature? It's got to have some kind of crap on it.
Yeah, probably does. This looks weird. All right, I'm out putting artwork for a job.
Oh man.
Little salmonella never hurt nobody, Bobcat. Quit being a sissy.
I know.
J-Dog said you can only get salmonella if the chicken has the disease.
I've not heard that. I thought it was a bacterial infection that infects the meat of the chicken.
Yeah, but not all chicken has it, I don't think.
Yeah.
That's the reason the price of eggs is $5 an 18-pack. Because of avian flu.
I heard that they messed with the chicken feed or something. It's causing chickens not to lay as many eggs, but
yeah.
Uncle Lou said we could test out that truck chasing a yote across the cornfield.
J-Dog said you're a bacterial infection.
Shut your face mouth, J-Dog. Coyote across the cornfield. We got quite a few coyotes around here too. I seen one dead in the road the other day.
Wade, my oldest son, he just bought one of them boxes you sit out in the field with a remote control coyote call rabbit in distress. It's got 200 something calls on it. I said, I don't know 200 something animals out there.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, Kelly, I seen that. Little ice pellets growing on the windows, isn't there? It's like hominy snow is what Mom always called it.
That big Mike said it was sleeting here earlier. I didn't see that. Of course, he's just a little bit down in Georgia from me. So everybody ready for CatCon? You gonna be there, Leroy?
I'm gonna try. I'm not gonna say for sure. Depends on the weather. The Farmer's Almanac says that that weekend is gonna be bad.
Really?
And they called this weekend too. I mean, I like that Farmer's Almanac now.
How accurate do you think that is?
If I was guessing, I'd say 70%. I mean, because it's just based off history. I mean, everything's changing too, they say. So who knows?
Yeah.
Jada, Brian, Uncle Lou said he just needs to move to warmer weather. Shoot, he ain't bringing his ass out of Iowa. There ain't no way for that to happen.
He must like corn too much. Uh-oh. Didn't mean to do that.
Oh, Chrissy said the reason eggs are so expensive is because hens are now identifying as roosters.
That's probably about the truth, Chrissy. Wouldn't doubt that a bit.
I'll be glad when I get completely over this old cold thing going around. Just when you think, man, I feel better, I can do this, that, the old head start aching.
If I had a head like that, I'd worry if my
I knew it. I knew somebody was going to do it. Just didn't think it'd come from that end. Papa Smurf. Hey, with that blue shirt on, that red hat, he does look like Papa Smurf, don't he?
Shut up. My head's cold. Bald. I'm if I'm gonna fish this weekend or not.
Well, Saturday is going to be the best day to fish around here. Friday and Saturday. This here is supposed to move out. Supposed to be 40 something tomorrow, and then high 55, I think, on the Saturday. So,
Ernie in the house. There's a Ernie the hog snatcher.
all right, we were having a conversation earlier, Bobcat, about demon dragons and line rattles and all that.
Mm-hmm.
When you're bumping, you don't use them, do you?
Yes, I do. I absolutely do. I use the brutes when I'm bumping. And here's the reason why. I think it definitely helps increase my hookup ratio, but also that big old float lets me use a heavier bumping weight, but yet keeps my bait up off the bottom. You get the heavier the weight you get a better bottom feel. And when I was using the smaller demon dragons, I would have to use less weight to keep my bait from getting hung up in the rocks. But when they come out with the brute, I started using them, and I was able to go up another ounce in my bumping weight and get that good bottom feel, but yet keep my bait. I very rarely get snagged up anymore to where I have to break my line off because since I switched to the bigger Demon Dragons.
What about
bumping?
if you're anchored up? Do you switch away from them?
No, I use them. I use them anchored up. I use them spot lock. Now here's the thing: if I'm running some small baits and some big baits, of course on a big headpiece, I want the brood on there. And if I run the 3.0s for smaller baits, like in the wintertime, if I'm running smaller chunks of bait, I'll use that 3.0 because I feel like that the big one gets the bait too high in the water column. So I use a smaller one when I'm running smaller baits. So I'll have some of my rods with a brood on them, and I'll also have some with a smaller dragon on it. And the smaller dragons get smaller baits, and the bigger baits get the bigger broots.
All right, let's say that's in the current slows down and you don't have hardly any current. Do you switch up then?
I don't get that technical about it. Sometimes I'll run a rod without a Demon Dragon on it just to see if the fish are right on the bottom, especially when I'm dragging baits. And if I start getting hit on the rod without a Demon Dragon, that tells me, or without a float at all, that tells me that the fish are clinging real close to the bottom. So if you have a variety of rods out there, and if you have different levels of flotation on your leader line, then you'll have baits in different parts of the water column, and that'll give you information.
All right, this might throw you under the bus, but I'm gonna try not to. Can you tell the difference between a Demon Dragon and a big old foam peg float?
Yeah,
in the bites.
Well, I definitely think my hookup ratio is better with a Demon Dragon than a float. I still use floats sometimes, especially when I'm dragging, just because especially if you're dragging that spot, you get a lot of snags on it. I'll run a float or two, but I can't really say I can tell the difference, between. I don't run a float at all anymore bumping, but I run all rattles bumping.
Have you ever seen that, fishing and stuff with Keith?
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever see the video that he put out where he was doing the different weight and floater comparisons and the sinking and stuff like that?
Yeah.
I really thought that was pretty cool. I mean,
yeah, that was good information to have for sure. And I think he demised out of making in the process of making that video that he needed to be using more weight on his line than what he was. So I don't think the little bitty, like I don't know if they call them football or little combo floats or whatever, the cylindrical floats, I don't think those are enough. I really don't, unless you're using tiny pieces of bait or small pieces of chicken.
That's kind of what I was hinting at there, Lou. I mean, how do we know that it's making that raise up off the bottom,
Does the current put a reverse effect on the float and push it down instead of lift it up? That's a good question. I mean, it could. You're anytime you put anything on the leader, cigar floats. Anytime you put anything on the leader, you're creating drag on the line, so it could potentially push your bait down closer to the bottom when you're adding something that catches water and essentially pushes it down.
Where'd Cody go?
He's probably pooping again.
I'm here. I'm just listening to the genius, which is named Bobcat.
Hey, why do you think I put the bait out there to get him to come up here? I'm out of coffee and I don't want to make no more. But I want some.
You're asking me questions. I'm just trying to give you answers.
Well, I mean, it's not only I feel like helping me understand the way I got my stuff set up compared to the way you got your stuff set up. All right, let's say this. If the Demon Dragon pushes down closer to the bait, does it make it fall further down?
I do what now?
Your leader's coming out, your demon dragon's here, and your bait's here. All right. Let's say your demon dragon slips and goes closer to your bait.
I always tie mine on in most cases, so they can't move. I tie mine in line.
So you got two breaking points there that could possibly fail.
Yeah, I have several breaking points, but I'm running an 80-pound leader, and I mean, now Brandon, he bought a for Shizzle, he bought a crimp kit. He's been crimping, and that 70-pound I caught the other day actually come on a circle hook that had been crimped on.
Well, Bobcat, you know, we did that private live that day, and we tested those out, and I had mine crimped in line.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so just, you know, a little short. I still snail my hook on, but then I crimp everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, I said, well, heck, I'm just going to feed it through and then put a piece of electrical tape around it so it doesn't slide.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I went back to that way, I'm about to cut them all off and go back to crimping them in line. I think that what we were worried about when we opened one of those up is less likely to be a problem than that eye being pulled sideways against the line, cutting your line.
Oh, I agree.
Off to tie them in line, and I think, and I've been crimping ours for, I don't know, almost a year now, and I think the crimping's better than the knots, especially if you're using heavy leader line. Like I use 80-pound Andy Monster for leader line, and I just think if you can, crimping's not expensive to get into, and as much as you've heard everybody else say it, crimping is easy. So,
well, I think now the way Brandon's been doing it, and I agree with this. If I'm gonna start cramping leaders, I'm going to 100-pound. I think you've got a lesser chance of failure on the heavier leader if you're using 100-pound. And see, you know, the reason I don't use 100-pound for tying stuff on is it's extremely hard to tie knots in 100-pound. But if you're crimping it, that's not an issue. So if I start crimping all my crap, I'm going to 100-pound leader.
Well, I'm not throwing away my spool 80-pound line that costs an arm and a leg. I'll stay to using it. I tied it. I hooked it on the back of the truck and pulled on it after crimping a bunch of them.
Mm-hmm.
They don't break.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, and like I said, I don't remember how many pounds of pressure it took to break that Demon Dragon, but it was a lot more than you're ever going to put on it fighting fish.
100 and something pounds. I'm thinking it was like 124 but I could probably find, I videoed that screen record that day. I'm sure I could see what it was.
And plus there was no flex in that system because I was using the quick clips. There was no line at all, no line flex at all. So you're not going to put that much weight on it.
And it was an extremely short segment that wasn't allowing for much stretch in the line.
Yeah.
Longer the line is, more it takes to break it because it's got further the stretch.
Yep.
Sure. It's not an issue. It's pretty much a non-existent issue is what I seen that day.
Yeah, I think at CatCon, that's one of the things I'm going to try to pick up if I find a decent price on one is a set of crimping pliers and some crimps.
$20 online gets you the crimping pliers and the crimps. For the 80-pound Andy Monster, you need the 1.1 or is it 1.0? Either way, sized crimps.
Yeah. But I like the cleanness of the crimping versus tying knots. I like how clean everything is.
Well, see right there, that just like he's talking about, you got to know people like me, and I'd say majority of the people in this chat doesn't know what size crimp would fit a.
They got a chart. It's that all that information's right there.
Different brands for different people are different, aren't they?
Well, the line diameter is different. You can't just say all 80-pound test is going to be. I think the Monster is 0.9, so I use a 1.0 crimp. But it is clearly marked on all of your lines. So if you know what kind of line you use, even if it's not in your hand, you can easily go online and look it up. Most everybody knows what the brand and pound test is to their leader line. You could probably look it up right now easier than it would be walk out to the garage and see. But
yeah,
I know that Andy Monster 80-pound test, we use the 1.0s or 0.1, whatever it is.
I already pre-tie all my rigs for bumping, because when you're out there dealing with the current and the boat and all that crap, you don't want to deal with having to tie leaders. So I'm going to definitely get and start pre-tying leaders and crimping them.
I've pre-tied leaders for, and I just hate them being there. No matter how I store them, I hate them being in the boat like that. They always end up a mess.
You get you one of them little bags that's got the real thick folder, like picture folder album.
Yeah,
Hey, them things are a trick, man. I keep hooks in some of them. I keep everything in that thing now.
Yeah.
Those rig bags are the way to go. They've got so many sleeves in them. If you want to, you can put 1 liter per bag. It's like, it's the size of the bags are like the size of a sheet of paper, and they got a Ziploc on them. And you could, if you want to, you can just put 1 rig per bag in there, 1 liter.
Well, I got a permanent marker and I wrote on different pages, different leader links. I seen somebody doing that. And so I try to keep my leader links, if I need a 2-foot leader, if I need a 3.5-foot leader, I've got a couple of them made up of each down in that bag.
Well, Lee, you've seen how I run long leaders year round. And I run floats on everything. So that means my bait's pretty far off bottom. I do think in the winter the fish hug the bottom more because they're lethargic. They're not up running around as much, and they bury themselves in that mud more. But if they want to feed, they'll come up and grab it. The day you fished with us, I remember you being surprised by how long our leaders were.
Yeah, I was like, man, I'm nothing like that, Well, I was probably half of what you would use.
Right. Yeah, and you didn't have short leaders. You were running what?
18 inches, 22 inches.
Half, 20 inches, something like that. So 18, 20 inches, but I don't know. I probably run 3.5-foot leaders on 3 to 3.5-foot leaders on a lot of stuff.
Jody says she likes crimped. She don't like crimped hooks. Everything else is fine, but don't crimp the hook.
Yeah.
I never crimp the hook. I like the action and the camber that a snail knot puts on your hook. And I actually just bought some Diachi D85s because I know a lot of people swear by them. I personally have for the longest now, I've been using Gamakatsu 8-aught octopus circle hooks. And that was my thing I didn't like about the D85s. I haven't tried them yet, and I'm going to, is they're not an octopus. They're a straight shank eye. And I don't know how much I'm going to like that. But then also Diachi had some, there were D11s. And they are octopus eye circle hooks. And they look awesome. And I'm going to give those a try too.
Yeah, I like the octopus style myself. That's why I haven't switched to the D85s. Now, I will say this, like Brandon uses the Diachi D85, and they got one heck of a barb on. Yeah, there he is in chat.
He said, I was lazy and crimped the hook on, and that's the rod the Sebby hit on.
Well, it's not going to change whether the fish bites. The fish doesn't care if it's crimped or tied. I just think that the snail knot, helps twist that circle hook around. I could be wrong.
Yeah, that's the one that the 70 came on, and it's cramped. The D85. He sent that picture to me the next day. I was like, you better be glad that crimp didn't fail.
Anyways, I need to go if Fish Sizzle's going to be in here. He's a cheater. Y'all was you.
He still channel cash you. You gotta watch him.
He put the chicken bait on my brother J Dog, and then you and him took the live scope out in a non-live scope tournament.
That wasn't in the rules.
Hey, it was in the rules.
It was not in the rules. Somebody's sore, I think.
I'm just aggravating. Here's the thing. Without that fish, y'all still did without that one. I mean, I don't care. Y'all caught a ton of amazing fish that day.
We didn't catch a lot of fish at all. We only caught 4 fish all day because one of them happened to be a 70 and a 40.
Right, but you caught 2 awesome fish that day.
Yeah.
I mean, you smoked us. We didn't stand a chance.
The bite was actually slow.
Yeah, it was really slow. We had some short bites that day.
Yeah. Yeah, man, we stayed there at the discharge for a long time and only managed. We've probably had an hour, only caught 1.
I was hoping y'all stayed at the thing discharged the whole dang day. I was hoping.
I mean, there were fish there. We just couldn't get them to bite.
Well, it snowed enough to cover the windshields up. What they'll panic, call school off.
Daiichi. Yeah,
Oh.
there you go. Mike got Daiichi, I think is how you say it.
Daiichi, whatever.
Brandon said, I'd like to thank my sponsor, Garmin.
Well, I'm going to get to do some catfishing with some live scope this Saturday, Bob Kitten.
Cool. Who you going with? Scott Live Scope.
Jeremy Coveland.
Nice.
We're going to Wilson Dam there on Pickwick Lake.
Hey, it's super cool, man, to sit there and watch the fish swimming up to your bait and just sit there and look at it and won't touch it. Like it's like frustrating.
I was watching that guy on a kayak does that. I ain't gonna mention the name, but you know.
Just because you can see them don't mean you can make them bite.
That's right. That when you reach over a shaky pole and hope them line rattles and stuff kind of give a little rattle.
Yeah. Yeah. The crazy thing too is like you can see what your bait is doing. Like when we were fishing the discharge, you could actually see the current. You got the water coming out of the discharge pipe. You can actually see the current moving your bait around, so you can kind of get an idea of what the current's doing to your bait, and you can see what effect it has on your rod tip.
Do you notice any rods are better with spooks than without?
I haven't noticed that. I haven't did it enough to determine that. You talking about with the live scope?
Yeah.
No, I don't. Brandon had them on some of his lines, but not others. Yeah, Buggy, it really does. It makes you crazy to see them swim up to your bait and then just sit there and look at it.
Have you ever heard somebody while they was fishing say, well, that fish hit the weight. It didn't hit the hook. How do they know?
I don't know. I think sometimes they'll hit the demon dragons. I think a lot of times too when I'm skipjack fishing, I'll have skipjack because the inline sinkers that I use are shiny. I think they're actually hitting the sinker instead of the spoon.
Well, from the videos that I've watched and heard about people skipjack fishing and talking to people that skipjack fish a lot, including you and Brand and Cody, compared to my knowledge of it, that's fun.
It is fun. It's a lot of fun.
It is.
I think I just about rather skipjack fish than catfish.
I'm about there with you. It's a lot of fun, which I hadn't done it a lot. We don't have skipjacks in our lake, but when I go somewhere that's got them, I'm taking a rod with me, going to try to catch some of them. They're a blast.
Dang, Amy just sent me a picture of her work, and she's 6 miles south of me, and they got snow everywhere. The ground's covered. As well. Rambo said he's going to paint all his Berkeley big games orange and call them Uncle Big Games.
Uncle Big Game.
Hey, Cat Tucky, what's going on, Big Mike? Fish Sizzle. If I missed y'all, hey, y'all, most of y'all come in here. Y'all know how it is with me.
Is there a tournament this weekend? What tournament am I forgetting about this weekend? Is it Battle of the Rivers?
I don't know.
I mean, I know Bobcat wouldn't know because he got kicked out of it. But
Yeah. For cheating.
Who voted him? Who kicked him out, Cody?
The James River.
Art said they're going to have the ice bowl on Kerr Lake.
Kentucky. Let's
My
say
dog don't even want to go out. I know it. I'm the same way. And
that's my second cup. I'm stopping.
I was showing the camera. My camera ain't even on.
One more piece of film.
Do you think, like when you go to Old Hickory, are you gonna fish it the same way you would if you went to Watts Bar, or if you went to Loudon, or Band?
No, because I've never fished Watts Bar or Loudon, so I don't know how I mean, maybe I don't know how I would fish those places. I don't fish it the same as I would fish Nickajack.
I'd skip Watts Bar and go straight to Nickajack or Chickamauga.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is I don't know about those two places, how the current is and what the river is laid out like, but I don't fish Old Hickory the same way I fish the Nickajack, which is the only section of Tennessee River I've been on so far. So Old Hickory's got current, and you can definitely feel it, but it's not so much. You can still drag, or we could the other day, the channel edges. Initially, we didn't start out doing that because I didn't think we could because of the current, but after we give it a try, we realized we could make it work. So
You'll figure it out.
yeah, we caught fish the other day. We caught 7. They're about at the tail end of the day after we started figuring some stuff out, but they were all channel cats, and that information's not really that helpful to me because I'm going down there to fish a tournament, and I don't want to catch a bunch of channel cats. That's not going to help me in that tournament.
Brian B said the Battle of the Rivers won't be until March sometime. February is a busy month.
Yeah, that'd be better for entertainment purposes too.
Yeah, Big Mike, it is. It's on the Cumberland River chain.
It is.
And I've said for the longest time I want to go down and fish the Cumberland River. I mean, just. But then again, like Bobcat just said, what's another hour to Chickamauga, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it takes me an hour to get to Old Hickory. Actually, Daddy sent me a list. He's got a list. Let me see if I can find a picture here. He's got a list of how long it takes to get to all the dams on the Tennessee River for us. To Kentucky Dam, 2 hours, 25 minutes. Pickwick, Tennessee Dam, 3 hours, 41 minutes. Wilson, 3:34. Wheeler, 3:08. 3 hours, 8 minutes. Gunnersville, 3:33. Nickajack, 2 hours and 40 minutes, which I think that's wrong. Oh, that's Nickajack Dam. Chickamauga Dam's 3 hours and 15 minutes. Watts Bars, 2 hours 50. Melton Hill, 2 hours 50. Fort Loudon, 2 hours 50. So I'm roughly 3 hours from every one of those dams. No matter.
Yeah.
I go to any of the dams on the Tennessee River, they're within 20 minutes. So it's the drive isn't really going to differentiate where I go. Going to Pickwick this weekend because that's where Jeremy's going, but I want to go to Wilson or Wheeler myself.
That's about the way it is here. We're 3 hours from just about any decent fishing area, you know.
Isn't that just a geographical oddity? 3 hours from everywhere.
And you're 2 hours from me.
Yeah, but you don't come here and fish. Go fish here.
On occasion.
There ain't a fish in the lake.
Now, I've been impressed with some of the fish y'all pulling out of your lake there, Cody, your reservoir.
You're full of it.
I have, man. I'm serious. Y'all pull some nice fish out of there.
Person ought to go back through some of their videos and screenshot about 40 or 50 of them and say that.
We ain't caught 40 or 50 fish since we've had YouTube.
I bet you have. Big Mike said it stinks. I have to drive 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Boo-hoo. Oh.
Yeah, I'm
We
thinking
do,
leaving my boat tied to the river.
Yep, Mike, and I hit you up. We're gonna be down there here for too long. That's for sure. And I'll shoot you a message. You can get in the boat with us or something if you want.
He'll bring lizards and snakes with him, probably.
Oh man, I have to bring Cannon in. My little boy loves reptiles.
Be the first one out the boat. And it won't be willing.
Now if he brought a snake in the boat, he might end up shot though, because Daddy is definitely scared of snakes.
Shoot.
They used to have pontoon, right, Mom and Daddy? We were out in it one day and the motor started messing up on us. And somebody towed us back there to the marina, which the marina is a few hundred yards down from the boat ramp we put in at, like 200 yards. And just thought we got it started back up, pulled off from the marina, and it died right back out. So I said, well, heck, let's just get in the water and let's walk it down the bank here and in the waist deep water back to the ramp and get it back on the trailer. So here, me, Mom, and Daddy's out. We're pulling the boat. Tally and the kids is up in the boat in the pontoon, and they see a snake up in some old driftwood that's floating over in a cove. They jump back up in that pontoon and refuse. Daddy said, we can leave the pontoon right here. Whoever comes gets it can have it. I'm not pulling it anywhere. There's a snake over there. So I had to pull the pontoon back to the ramp by myself.
That's funny.
I was not in the boat, but I was beside a boat one night. And they was fishing not more than tied up to a tree, not more than 20 feet from us, because we was all sitting and talking and carrying on. I heard awful screaming going on. I looked over and there were 3 of them standing up in the bow of this 14-foot John boat about to go underwater.
Lord.
He said, there's a daggone snake dropped out of that limb right on that motor back there.
The boys do got this little thing. Well, you can't see him in there, can you?
That's a negative. I hope he bites your ass. Come on.
Bite him.
Oh, heck no.
Gecko.
Yeah. He's as nice as could be. A little leopard gecko.
Yeah. Hey, back when I used to run whitewater,
That's good bait.
I was up on the Tellico River in the summertime paddling, and I come into this. I whipped my boat into this eddy and bumped the tree, and the dang snake fell out of the tree onto the deck of my boat and crawled in the boat with me. You never seen somebody come out of a boat so fast.
Cody, J-Dog's going to tell you, he said, take it off tic-tac mode.
He's a tickle packer.
I'm holding the dang phone. It's much more comfortable to hold it like this. Is that better, J-Dog?
Y'all ain't right. Yeah, you're right, Uncle Lou. I think they should go ahead and have the final in the winter.
Yeah, it doesn't seem fair for everybody else that had to fish in bad conditions and get put out to. It would have been a different outcome if he'd have done it all in the spring, maybe.
But we had some deplorable conditions today. We fished the James. It was horrible.
Fish Sizzle said, I wish y'all had seen Big Mike and Austin when we were driving down a lake and a bat hit one of them and landed in the boat.
That is pretty funny.
Big Mike, I broke her tripod when we was out on Old Hickory. I went live, and then I went to step to the back of the boat, and my coveralls caught the top of it, and I broke the little phone holder off of it.
He said it hit me in the back and crawled up Austin's leg. I bet he was doing a Tennessee two-step in there, wasn't
it? That's pretty funny.
One night, and I'm guessing, I think it was a tank come up and rolled, and he rolled against the boat and tail slapped the side of the boat, and Daddy was sitting right there on the rod locker on the beside the gunnel, and that was in his bass boat. So, I mean, you're right there next to it. When that fish's tail slapped the side of that boat, you ain't ever seen somebody jump up so fast. What are you doing?
The funny thing is, all summer long when I was bumping at night, it's amazing, like, how many bats, like, come within feet of my head, and I didn't even realize it because they're attracted to the light. When you're editing video, you get to see that.
Mike said we all were. It was hilarious. Fat guys move fast when we have to.
Yeah. DMV Whisker King in the house.
What it do, DMV? Darrell from Trophy Seekers come in here to see Cody this morning.
He's babysitting again. You got Brandon over there?
He's probably babysitting that cup of coffee.
Hey, remind me, I got a cup of coffee. I just fixed it.
Well, that's bringing the bugs, which brings in bats. That's right. I'm waiting on the day I get hit in the head with one.
You seen those big old, we call them loons around here. They stand around on the side of the bank with a big long neck, squawk all night long. Huh?
You talking about homeless people?
No.
Oh.
Jim's got that big pontoon. He's got a big aluminum let down roof on the top of it. He said it was about 3:00 in the morning. He said I was sitting there he's by himself. He said I must have been just about asleep. That thing landed on that big aluminum roof. He said him out in the middle of the lake, knowing it couldn't be nothing, what else it could be. He said I coon hunt in some of the darkest places you ever seen in your life by myself. He said, but I was scared that night. I've had them hit the lines and jerk the poles around. Swim, they just fly by.
Look here, Leroy, what I got in the mail yesterday.
Ooh. Must be nice.
What do you get in the mail?
I might have to retire my Bobcat rag.
There you
Man. Go. You are officially sponsored by Uncle Lou now. Boy, J-Dog gonna be upset.
He sent me his too because he seen I was writing. I'm logging all the fish I catch this year, and I just been writing them in a notebook. Let's see here.
Heavyweight champion.
I mean, this thing's got a place for every kind of information you can imagine.
Well, how come you ain't
right
started
here in Chattanooga?
Got a place to draw a diagram how you had your boat positioned, tells you how to mark which way you were casting, where the tags at GPS coordinates.
Man, that's too much work.
Yeah, I mean, I probably won't fill in all this, but
I'm not that organized.
I will be filling in all this, like moon phase, conditions, clear, foggy, cloudy, drizzle, rain, wind, none, light, moderate, strong, air temperature, recent weather, the water, all its conditions. And where I was having to write out all the stuff I want this, I can just check the box. It's going to save me some time too.
Does it ask if Cody was on his period or?
That's awful.
It doesn't ask because it knows whether I am or not. I'm going to catch more fish.
Hey, Brandon, we'll get us a couple of them books.
But this great Uncle Lou. So, and he seen me using a 5-gallon bucket as a drift stock, and he told me as I was coming. Look at it. All kind of good stuff in there.
Oh, Danny Stone says he'll fill out the first 3 pages and then quit. That's what I do.
Well, I do get watch hours by not logging them, because then whenever I want to know how I did this time of year last year, I just go back and watch an old video.
Yeah, I agree. Kentucky says, Cody, you doing giveaways today or what? Start giving away stuff in that box.
I am doing some giveaways tonight on our evening show. Jeremy Coveland called me after I asked him if he wanted to be on, and he said he had some stuff he wanted to give away, and a couple different things. So some stuff from SmackDown rod holders and something else I ain't going to announce yet. Just so.
Oh, let me show y'all something. Speaking of SmackDown rod holders, if you come to the gathering this year, you'll have a chance to win these. Got some SmackDown rod holders donated by SmackDown rod holders.
Nice.
These are nice. Got 4 of them, I think. They sent these to us for giveaway. There's 2 more in here.
That's awesome.
But these are super nice. These are I guess the 4-inch ones.
My wife's over here fussing at me saying it's cold in this house.
We'll get up and turn the heat on, tightwad.
Then I'll be hot in this house. I feel good. What's the temperature in here, Tally, for you? Well, 58's good.
Jesus, 58.
Good grief.
She said she just turned it up to 60. I set it at 58 at night. And if it's above 62, when I go to bed, I turn the AC on.
Danny Stone, how are you, my brother?
I keep mine on 71, I think.
No,
68.
Like last night, it was 62 in the house. So I didn't turn the AC on, so I just turned the heat down to 58. I had it set on 60, but I turned it down so it'd get colder throughout the night.
I hope y'all got lots of quilts on the bed.
Us fat guys overheat easy.
Yeah, I keep my bedroom really warm now, and Dana, she just about has to sleep butt naked. Since I lost all that weight, I get cold.
Huh? Well. Anyways, I was going to say something, but I changed my mind.
Yeah, thank you.
Do you make those checks? I text you. You can text me back.
Do what?
Do you make those checks too?
I never have, but I probably can, as long as it ain't over 18 and a half inches wide by whatever long. I can probably make them. I just have to get some foam board or some of that. I guess corrugated plastic would work.
Right, either that PVC coated board or corrugated plastic, either one.
I'm
Well,
sure I could make them.
could you quote me something on like a 18 by 36?
Yeah, I'll do that.
All right. I called 2 places here in Scottsville yesterday. One of them never called me back. The other quoted me right there on the phone, and it was a little higher than what I thought.
Yeah.
Did you see what fish this was?
Dude, I've tried to give him gas money. He won't take it. He wants me to pay him for shizzle hats. Now, see, he lives on a farm. Him and his wife run a farm, and I was buying butter from his wife. But I guess in the wintertime, the milking cows quit making milk, and I ain't got no butter in a while. I can eat me some butter now. He won't give me gas money either, Brandon. Well, Daryl, you only got to drive an hour and a half. You know, you burned a lot of gas in that truck pulling that boat. Y'all don't realize how far Daryl has to drive every time he goes fishing. He's like an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes away.
Yeah, we know how far it is. J-Dog always tells us.
2 hours to Chester Frost.
It's 3 hours at Chester Frost for us.
That ain't bad, Lee. You ought to come down more often.
Well, when it starts getting more into warmer temperatures, I am.
How long does it take you to get down there, Lee?
It's maybe just a hair over 3 hours.
It's crazy that it takes us 3.5 hours to get there, and it takes you that or less.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, I just hit I-75 and boom, straight shot. And I'm only 5 minutes from I-75. So.
Yeah, Brandon's about 5 minutes. I'm about 10 minutes. I live in Red Bank. I just get on Hickson Pike and go. I'll be there in 10 minutes.
Bobcat lives in a gated community over there with armed guards.
Yeah, right.
There's Michael Murillo. Good morning.
Now, my neighbors are armed, but I sure ain't in no gated community.
Good.
My neighbor's disabled, and he's only got one leg, but he carries a big gun.
Well, throw you what do they call that? Throw you a hook out there and try to get them to come in there, Bobcat. Tell them about the gathering.
Oh, a hook out there. That's gonna be fun, man. We got a lot of prizes going on. Got a game set up, a tournament. We're actually doing a tournament. I think we've got different tournaments going on for boat anglers, bank anglers, whatever your kayak anglers. I think there's a Facebook page, and I don't know what it is. Let me go look. Oh yeah, $500 for big fish.
Murillo,
weekend. Let me go see if I can find it on.
I said that. Only thing I've done is I said that in Paul Meadows' chat last night. But if you got some influence, I'd love to do it. I tend to like eating catfish, and I feel like I'm a decent judge of food. I cook a lot and stuff, so hook a brother up. Get me in there on judging it.
I can't. How do I do this? I can't do it. Oh, my feet are burning up. I got my electric socks on. Dang, did I turn them up? Crap.
Electric socks.
Yeah, man. Check this out. I got electric socks on.
You are a sissy.
I'm old, Cody.
You are a bona fide sissy. I used to think.
I'll throw it right here in the private chat. Somebody, it's in private chat. I can't throw it up in the comments while I'm on. These things are the bomb, man. You can turn timers on them. You can adjust the temperature. It's got little lithium-ion battery packs on them that you recharge.
one of them gonna short out one day and burn a hole in your foot.
Yeah, probably. Hopefully we get we get lots of interest in the tournament this year with a $500 prize. We've already got a couple people sponsoring that, so if anybody's interested in sponsoring, just contact Darrell.
And, you know, pretty much knew everybody there once you get there. You know, it was a good time. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Darrell's got the sites closest to where everybody likes to fish from the bank already booked up and for people to fish from the bank and camp out there. That way we ain't got to worry about somebody not being in our group, being in the middle of everything.
Is Darrell going to fish the tournament?
I don't know.
I don't think it'd be fair for him to fish the tournament. Or you.
Yeah,
Why,
I don't know
Bobcat?
if he is or not.
Bobcat or Darrell can't fish the tournament. Anybody from Tennessee can't fish the tournament.
Well, why is that?
Or Georgia.
Why is that not fair?
Well, you know, Bobcat's not from Tennessee. He's from North Carolina.
No, that's not true. I was born in Tennessee.
How was you?
Yeah, I lived in North Carolina when I was a kid, but I was born right here in Chattanooga.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, y'all make your plans now. Get you a spot. All those spots near the water, they book up for. Like over at Chester Frost Park, I'm not kidding. When I used to do a lot of camping, if you wanted a certain spot, you had to book it a year in advance to get a spot. It's just that bad.
Bobcat, you can come up here and fish one of my tournaments 1 month.
Yeah, Cody's going to have a series start out here.
You can make the
Are they all going to be on Barron?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just something there's nothing around here for local catfishermen and stuff. And my real goal with it is to, because you have to CPR the fish is to get more people practicing CPR. That's the ultimate goal. Barron, a lot of the fish that get caught that have any size to them get kept on Barron. Not a lot of people CPR. There's more people doing it nowadays, but
Sorry, Cody. Somebody they're putting in chat stuff that
the jock strap one.
God bless. What's funnier, Uncle Lou's comment or J Dog's?
Both of them were out there. Oh, that sounds like a call out right there.
Oh. Dang, Uncle Lou lit him up there. That's right. Tell him, Art. Don't mess with the prodigal son.
Are y'all staying at CatCon, Cody, or y'all driving back and forth?
I was planning on just driving back and forth, but I think Mama said she went ahead and just rented a room big enough that had an extra bed. Me and Candy could crash with them.
Ugh.
Surgery during that time.
Stupid customer called me wanting to change something on something that's already been ordered. I'm like, hey, it's already been ordered.
Sure, I don't think they'd schedule your surgery that quick, would they?
Yeah.
Well, if they do, I guess I have to just stay home. Yep, I just stay home and take care of you if you have surgery. I'll be here.
I'm home at February 3rd, so I mean, you take it and go like a week or two out. Matt's house typically do stuff. He probably would be home with me. I'll be okay. Let's see. I would make you stay home with me. We'll get through that.
Man, oh man, oh man. What are you doing there, Tom? LG Bass.
Hey, good morning, Tom.
Whoo. What a day already.
Lucky Ronnie. Good morning, everyone.
He just tried to call me. And I looked over at my phone and I seen it's him. And in the process of texting him, I'm live and he texts me.
J-Dog, I don't know. Uncle Lou's was pretty good. It was. But y'all would definitely be the two front runners.
All right, J-Dog, let's go down there and we'll fish right behind him. We'll fish within 50 feet of him. We'll go down there and fish and just follow him around.
Let's see. I want to see a Daryl versus Bobcat versus Fish Hizzle 1v1v1. Every man for themselves. They need to set that up one day. All on the same waters.
We do that. We did that Thursday night. Or
All
Friday night on Jody's channel.
All on y'all's own boats?
Well, no, I was on the boat with Daryl. Fish Hizzle was fishing. Jody was fishing.
Lucky Ronnie, yeah, you missed it. You need to scroll back up.
If we're going to do that, wait till bumping season to do it.
Well, Bobcat, here's the question. Who's the best fisherman out of you, Darrell and Fish Hizzle?
I'm Fish Hizzle. I'm not gonna make that call.
No, Bob, it's your opinion, in your humble opinion, who is the best?
I'm not gonna make that call.
I think it'd be fun too, Daryl.
You ain't gonna get me to say it.
Well, you obviously have an answer in your head. You just scared to say it.
Well, obviously, I think it's me, but
All right. Chest.
you're just trying to stir up trouble, Cody.
Say it with your chest. I know y'all all fish differently, Daryl, but I'm not saying who fishes best at one thing. Who is the best? So Bobcat thinks he's best. Who's second best?
Ain't nobody fishing for second best.
Hey, look here. I'm stirring the pot. You just hush up. Who's second best? Your buddy Darrell or your buddy Fish Hizzle?
No, I ain't making that call. You know, that's why we put together the team that we did, because each one of us has their strengths.
Look, Darrell said Bob is the best in the summer. He can't hang in the winter. Is this true, Bobcat?
I'm not making that claim.
Look, that old man things hang. He says what he feels.
J-Dog. Here you go. Brandon said, I caught more big fish than all those old farts last year.
Tell him, Fish Hizzle.
Brandon, ask him who caught the big fish out of the boat the other day.
Out of his boat.
Yeah.
But we were fishing Daryl's spot and we cheated.
With live scope.
Even though we didn't use live scope.
I don't know. I've always been under the impression Bobcat couldn't catch a fish if it wasn't for Daryl's help.
Exactly. I think I'll disprove that this summer.
I'm
Nah,
impressed by Bobcat's boating skills when he's bumping down through there between the railroad bridges.
That's a tricky spot to fish. Shut up, Brandon.
I'm
so
sorry.
who won on Jody's show the other night?
Me and Darrell.
Y'all beat everybody?
Well, Brandon skunked, and I think Jody and James only called. Did they catch one or two fish? I don't remember.
And what'd y'all catch?
I think we caught two fish.
Two biggins?
No, I think the biggest fish was like 16 pounds. I don't remember.
That ain't a bad fish, but overall, everybody had a slower night.
Yeah, it was slow. The night bite is not good right now.
Darrell, I'm not a troublemaker. Well, how am I being a troublemaker?
He is a troublemaker.
I don't understand that comment. I'm not a troublemaker. I was simply asking out of curiosity.
Turn your camera on to say that, Cody. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, Brandon caught about a 300-pound tree. It knocked his trolling motor out.
Anybody ever wonder what Joe Pesci looked like with a white beard? That right there, we got him. Bobcat looks just like Joe Pesci from Home Alone.
More the Mario Luigi type.
Yeah, he does run his live scope on a separate battery, Uncle Lou. He's got it in a giant toolbox. The toolbox is twice as big as the battery.
But who's second best? All right, we've established you're the best. Who's second best?
You're not going to make nobody mad by answering that. Just go ahead and answer it.
Yeah.
I'm not answering that.
We realize that you think it's very, very close, kind of, sort of, maybe. So, go ahead. Say what you think.
We had 3 doctors agree you're a troublemaker, Cody.
I honestly could care less who you say second best because I have no clue. I just want to know what you have to say.
Joe?
That's not what I said. He's not in. I specifically asked about people that were in chat for a reason.
I'm dedicated to it.
Speaking of batteries, I'm going to buy me a new one here in the next month or so. Because I got to looking at mine's still good, but I got to looking on the date of a couple of them. And there's a couple of them that's, getting 5 or 6 years on them.
Yeah, they'll let you down when you least expect it.
Look here, Daryl called J-Pup a keyboard Rambo. He said he's a keyboard warrior.
He said Aaron Massey outfished us all.
He did. Aaron had an incredible year last year.
I don't know Murillo yet. Basically, probably get what I can afford. That's about all I can tell you. All right, Cody, there's a question. Who do you think is the troublemaker? We all brought that to a head, Darryl, this morning, that fishing is luck. You improve your luck by the place you fish and the bait you use and the style you fishing. Daggone a lithium battery. Daggone them things are. Whew, I looked up at the Dakota lithium battery. I think what was his name? He used to come in here all the time. Had those Dakota lithium batteries. Well, they left me in here all alone, silent.
Sorry, my wife had me doing something. I don't believe in fish being luck, though. I can tell you that. You can be more fortunate some days. I mean, being fortunate, I guess, luck. But overall, it's a skill based activity, sport, whatever you want to call it, and the person with more knowledge is going to catch the better fish on average. Better catch the better fish and catch more fish more consistently.
But as Jody once said, J-Dog, it's all about the confidence. And even Cody said that every now and then.
Well, having confidence in what you're doing, it'll make it makes a difference. It helps you fish, but it doesn't make the fish bite. It'll make you stay in that area that will produce a fish if you give it a little longer. It makes you more comfortable. You're not second guessing yourself, jumping around. Being confident in what you're doing makes a difference. It makes you fish better.
Time on the water.
Eric Kelly's definitely better than me. Heck, I'm worse fisherman this side of the Mississippi. I'd be worse on the other side if I went over.
I don't know if there's such thing, Zach, as overconfident. I think, like we was talking this morning, you can overthink stuff. And I'm probably one of the world's worst at that. He said, I bought the 100 AH for around $2.99 on Amazon. Used 2 of those for trolling motor. They have smaller ones for a scope.
Hey, who's Aaron Massey?
I don't know. You'd have to ask them. I guess it's down in Tennessee bunch. Yeah, I'm like Big Mike says there, man. Them Dakotas are like, shoot, $3,000 for a battery. If I paid that much for a battery, that thing better never die.
He's a guide down there. I don't know. I figure from what I've seen with my own 2 eyes, catfish carrying's the best specimen to ever be alive, and you can't tell me different.
Tennessee River Adventures. I could have swore I seen that. We were up on that Caney Creek. I could have swore I seen that on a boat. Tennessee River Adventures. Maybe not.
Sorry, guys. Customer.
Food cat.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree that catfish carrying's the best fisherman on the Tennessee River, though?
Nope.
You're just saying that because you're live.
Nope. I agree that he gets to fish a whole lot more than any rest of us do.
Nah, he's the best this side of Mississippi on Tennessee River.
Yeah. Whatever.
I talked to him last night. He was talking about you in particular. He said he don't want to smoke.
The smoke, huh?
That's what he said. He said he'd light a fire under your tail and feet would never touch ground again.
Dude, I'm on the list.
Hey, I made the list. Don't worry about that. I'm top of the list.
I'm on the list.
Well, y'all, we've made it almost 2 hours this morning. If I don't get up and get some chores done here pretty soon, I might not make it till 10 o'clock tonight.
Mama's gonna come home, spunk that rear end.
It's she's subject to.
Yep. Hit you that frying pan iron skillet.
I got all them hid. She got a new set of them non-stick ones and had to hide all my cast iron.
Hey, listen here, Danny. You live on the Mississippi River and don't do so good. Don't talk about my best friend, Catfish Karen.
Well, I just had the smoke, Lou, and now I'm ready for the nap. But I got chores I got to do first.
This Big Mike, the list that everybody's talking about is the list of Catfish Karen's best friends. It's a list we we call ourselves friends, but we're really just his biggest fans. He doesn't care about us, but we care about him. We love him, and whether he likes us or not, we're going to be there to support him. That's the list we're all talking about.
Well, who is the Catfish Karen you're talking about?
He goes by one name and one name only, so there you go.
That's what I'm trying to figure out, Ronnie. I don't know.
His name shall not be spoken.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you ever watch Harry Potter?
No.
Well, then you'd be lost because he's something like a wizard when it comes to fishing.
He whose name shall not be spoken.
Well, if you're talking about Dave, I think I made him mad last year.
Everybody makes Dave mad.
We was pulling boards up through Watts Bar on the side of the bank. We come through that gap and got out in there into the water, and he started pulling right up the most center part of the lake as you can get. And you could tell he would lean up and start talking to the camera. And I would take this air horn that we had in the boat. Every time I'd see him go lean up and talk to that camera, I'd take that air horn and go,
Well, listen here. Stan 2 mooned him the other day.
oh, down on the James?
Yeah, he mooned him.
I will do this. The old boy go out and catch his fish. So I ain't Mar. He's like them old dirt track racers. You love to hate them. So
Nah, I don't love to hate him. He's made. I think it's awesome. He has given his catfish community a lot of fun stuff to joke about. I could honestly care less what he's got going on. I'm happy he's got him a successful thing going on. To each their own. It's fun to joke around.
We all strive to get there where he's at.
Right.
yeah.
We all just joke around about it, because it's comical. When you sit down and just think about it, step back, it's funny, the whole, I'm going to make I don't know, these people are on my list. It's just, I don't know. It's funny, all for commenting on a hilarious video that really wasn't a big deal, but we just like joking around about it.
And every time we'd catch a fish, we'd holler, "Woo!"
Y'all didn't holler woo much, did y'all?
Oh yeah, we caught over 60 fish that weekend. But the thing is about Watts Bar, you don't catch a lot of big fish. You catch a lot of fish, but you don't catch a lot of big fish.
Where'd that go? What is that?
Sound like Cody shaking his booty.
These freaking dogs, I can't stand them.
Oh, it's shaking.
Yeah, dang dogs in here. What you doing, Baron? With the Kruger.
Bite him. Bite him.
You know the best way to catch a lot of fish?
You want to go outside?
Fish.
Go outside? Let's go outside. Huh?
I said, you know the best way to catch a lot of fish and big fish?
What's that?
Fish every chance you get. If
Yeah.
you can fish 6 days a week, you'll do it.
I said, let's go outside. And my dog jumped up and we'll go outside.
Baron, out of there.
Well, guarantee you I won't stay out there long. It's cold.
You're a good dog, ain't you? You're good.
I think last summer, I fished every night. Well, about three nights a week I'd fish after work.
I'll say one thing. I absolutely love sitting in a boat pulling boards. That to me, that's my favorite way to fish. It just whether they're biting or not, I don't know. I just like it.
Yeah, I love pulling boards.
I've never done the bumping thing, and eventually I'm going to. I'm going
You're
to.
pretty good at bumping your gums.
Well, sometimes.
J-Dog said Cody just farted and I heard his butt cheek flapping.
Baron, you ain't allowed in there, boy.
Is that dog's name Baron?
Yep. Named him after the lake. I bought that dog last year for my wife for our anniversary. She had wanted a Dalmatian, so I went and broke down and spent the arm and leg on the dang thing.
You see that video where Fishizzle is fishing for his Dalmatian?
Yeah, they're a headache. Worst breed of dog you could ever buy. They're nothing but energy.
It's sitting looking at the TV watching Cody talk.
Look, it's watching itself.
That's funny.
So, look there, we got Leroy up on the TV.
It's about a 10-second delay, ain't it?
Let's see. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, 6 Mississippi. That was 6 Mississippis, but I counted that in a little funky. About 6 or 7 seconds, it looks like. Baron Kruger, out of there. Kruger. He just pesters my other dog something awful. Look, he just always biting on me.
My dog's laying over balled up in her bed.
Uncle Lou's. So he snipped his arse and then headed to the other room to unload it.
I thought, hey, Brandon, did you have to go into work today, or are you back to working remote? He said yesterday he went into work and he hadn't been there in so long he forgot where his desk was at. Well, guys, I got to get off here and go make some screens.
All right, bro. I'm glad you got to come up and spend a little time with us this morning.
Yeah, man, I enjoyed chewing the fat with you guys. Missed you when you were incognito.
Well, hey, Bob.
Yep.
Call and give me a quote on those checks. Quote on, I guess, one of them, or if it's cheaper to get 6 of them at a time.
So are you giving them away or are you reusing them?
Well, Uncle Lou told me I needed to give them away. I was just going to do one and then just reuse it, let people get a picture with it.
Mm-hmm.
But he said that I needed to give them away. He said people would want something to take home if they won.
Yeah, probably. I'm trying to figure out which would be. Foam board would be cheaper as far as the substrate goes, but that corrugated plastic's not that expensive.
Well, the foam board, if it's cheaper, isn't it probably better also?
Well,
that corrugated plastic bends at the fold or at the corrugated, the hollow spot's easy.
Yeah.
So if you got that PVC coated foam board,
mm-hmm.
If that's cheaper, that's probably the better option. Too. I was
Well-
thinking that would be higher.
That PVC or that foam board is coated with cardboard. So, and you really need, if you're dealing with a piece of vinyl that big, you really need to spray your substrate straight down with something to keep it from getting air bubbles in it. So I think corrugated would probably be better.
Okay. All right.
We'll see you guys.
All right. See you, buddy.
All right. Hey, Bob. I told you them dogs wouldn't stay out there long. It's too cold.
Ooh.
Cody just sat there and got up and under the covers and everything else.
Yeah.
Then he won't fuss at Telly because she cold.
Her name ain't Telly.
Tally, I mean. You know what I meant.
I like my quilt. When I sit here and watch TV, I put my little quilt on my legs and sit here.
Yeah, them little pink booty socks you wearing too. Don't show them feet. We tried to warn you. Well, we made it 2 hours today.
Yeah, it's been a long one. I need to get up and do something, honestly, but I don't want to. I don't know that I will. I don't know that I will. You fishing this weekend, Leroy?
I'm hoping to.
On Wilburn.
I don't know yet. I don't know. I doubt it. I really doubt it.
That's right, Murillo. That dog actually likes me, and I don't get it. I don't know why he does. He does. He likes me pretty well. He said it. My
J-Dog says, I'm going to take out another YouTuber Sunday. Well, who is that YouTuber? Well, there's old Catfish Jim. Yeah, well, boy, we've missed you. You came in just as I was getting ready to vacate the premises here shortly. Because if I don't get my chores done, then daggone, the text I got just about make me cry.
Have you been fishing with Jim very much?
Not a whole lot here lately. The weather's just been so bad, and his wife's been really ill, so just kind of letting them heal up. And James from River Lunacy. Now, I watched a video, J-Dog, on him the other day. I think it was them where they was on the bank up by Meldal. No, that was, I don't know. No, it wasn't him. It was different. I just put Meldal fishing.
I watched a video of his last night that out.
No, he was on. This guy was on the Ohio side, fishing the bank, and he was fishing right where the doors open for the barges to come out. He was getting a bite, and he took off running up through there and hit that bud and wiped out. He was waist deep in the water. No, that's why I've seen River Lunacy's videos, but there's another one out there too that does that up at my Meldal a lot. He catches some big fish up there. I mean, that goes to show you there's some big fish in there.
The Ohio River's full of fish.
All right, Jim. Whenever you're ready, just holler. You know the rules. Say date, let's go, and we'll go. Jim working on them race car motors. All right, Cody. I think I'm gonna ease out.
All righty. Take care.
All right, everybody. I appreciate y'all coming in and hanging out. It's been real fun today. It's lasted 2 hours. So thank y'all for coming in and hanging out.